Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Path of Exile. So last time, and actually the time before that, I had rerolled and started a new character because that build had been getting quite old. We got up to level 11, and we possibly have some quest stuff to pick up. No, maybe from Tarkley, perhaps, possibly. Yes, in fact, we do. Now my question is, as I'm kind of here off to the side looking at this stuff. What do we got? Leap Slam, no. While a useful ability, not going to be grabbing it because I can't even use it at the moment. Lightning Arrow, Hatred, is a nice aura, but it's percent based, which kind of sucks. Flicker Strike's going to be a no. Shockwave Totem, again, no, can't even use it yet. Puncture, also no. Shield Charge, once again, no. So the question is, am I getting any of these? At the moment, it would seem that no, I'm not. So we will just leave it sitting here.
Still alive, are we?
Done this in a while. We need to check for a particular combination of slots on here. It might be a little early. It's early. We don't even have 3 slot items on the vendor. And there's one thing I want to do here too, before we head back out and keep progressing forward. This bow I picked up. It was better than the one I was using, but it only has a suffix. I want a prefix. Let's get a prefix on it. Extra physical damage and some accuracy. Slightly less concerned about that, but extra physical damage. Not too shabby. So I'm going to check my stash too for one more thing. Alright, can't use any of these yet. I was hoping I had a Quicksilver Flask. But it would appear we are going to be doing the Medicine Chest quest in a moment. But before that,
be careful.
We're going to buy one more small life flask for a Scroll of Wisdom. Why, might you ask, are we doing that? Well, you'll see in just a moment. And not gonna buy a medium. So let's go ahead and make use of one of the newer vendor recipes. We'll take those off. I saw them. Okay, that'll work. 3 mana flasks of the same type, you get a mana flask of the next highest quality, so we get a medium from that. Likewise with these small life flasks, we throw all 3 in and we'll get a medium life flask. You can do that with them all the way up to hallowed flasks, which is a quite nice little way of saving some money. Ah, yeah, I gotta stash some stuff here. I'll just say, I got some junk. It's not really important. I'm kind of holding on to, I don't know why I have the superior chestplate in my inventory, but whatever. It's there. So, may as well hang on to it. Fire Trap, Split Arrow. Do I have Split Arrow? I'm using Rain of Arrow at the moment. I have it. And now I'm thinking about it. The build I pulled up thinking I was going to go with might be different from the one I pulled up currently. Remember how I had said I didn't really look through my gear and build so much? Well, this is kind of what happens. So you don't know what the heck you were planning on running because you forgot to bookmark it. Or did I? Okay, no, actually, I don't think I did. Oh well, these are both fairly similar, so enough of that. What am I supposed to be doing here? Throw you in here. I don't really feel like doing more inventory stuff at the moment. Detonate Dead, Ground Slam. Definitely not using Ground Slam or Detonate Dead. Split Arrow. Actually, where did that just go? Seems like another slot for that. I will be using that one. I'm not terribly I'm gonna throw some currency items in my stash too, because I got bunch of them piled up. Arctic armor. Not gonna use that. Alright. Done with inventory management 5 minutes later. You generally want to keep your skill gems that you're planning on using slotted and leveling up the entire time you're playing through. Losing a few levels early on is not the biggest deal in the world. So, I'm just gonna kind of suck it up and deal with it for the moment. Just until I get something with a slot. It's so nice to come back to a low-level area and just shut everything, even though they give crap for experience. Let's see, what is it? 006. I need one enemy, just a burning arrow quick for reference purposes of how much experience these things are giving. Now that I am 9 levels over the area. 006. They give a whole whopping 1 experience. I know, amazing. This should be the easiest Tidal Island medicine chest acquiring ever, because I'm so far over level. Generally speaking, you usually go to like the ledge and then double back, and these things get 5 experience. Wow. Actually, I really don't know why I'm killing stuff. It's like kind of force of habit, you know, a little group builds up, you kind of want to deal with it and not end up getting surrounded. But these are weak enough that, unless they get frozen in place completely and utterly, I should be able to breeze through this pretty well. There he is. 3-4 shot hail rig, easy enough. Level up that fire trap gem. Grab the medicine chest before I forget. Period jerkin, not worth it. Quick teleport back to town. Saving that town portal scroll.
A medicine chest.
And finally, our quicksilver flask. Okay. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, and never mind. Sweep, split arrow, fire trap, heavy strike, poison arrow, and double strike. Again, don't really need these at the moment. So, gonna leave that alone. We're gonna do a little bit of crafting here quick with this quicksilver flask. Gonna hopefully, as I apologize for just completely and utterly smacking the microphone. Okay. Increased charge recovery, not terrible. Increased stun recovery. I have 8 orbs of alteration. I'm probably gonna go through most of these. Spells frozen and chilled. I don't remember. I'd like extra charges and faster charge recovery. That's what I personally prefer. Dispelling frozen and chilled isn't bad. Extra charges, unfortunately. There we go. Come on, give me a good roll. Alright, that's what I'm gonna go with for now. I'll get other quicksilver flasks eventually as drops, so. No, that's not what I wanted. Alright. Just in case more had appeared out of nowhere, just gotta check and make sure that nothing did. Once again, getting slightly sidetracked. Alright, just wanted to make sure of something. Aha, quicksilver flask. Now we can move quickly for a brief period of time. So it's like, did we do the prison and Brutus last time? It's like, yeah, we did. We're just on the other side of it. Rocky Climb and Prisoner's Gate actually are pretty similar looking zones. 12 mana, I have 147. I have some reasonably good mana regeneration at this point as well. If I had the strength, I would just love to have a leap slam for this area. Just to jump over these walls would be so nice. But sometimes you just gotta suck it up and deal with what you got. I'm not sure where, like I said, I collect some stuff with quality on it. Generally speaking, stuff with, like, low amounts are good to grab when you're just starting in a league. But when you've already kind of established yourself, you got a little stockpile of them, grabbing every single superior item ever, as I lag horribly. Still having those internet problems, as you can see by that massive ping spike. By the time I realized it was happening, it was too late. But I'm gonna push through and try to prevail. I just gotta, my way of dealing with this, at least in normal, there's no XP penalty, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. It's a little bit annoying to have to run back, but for the moment anyway, I'm just gonna persevere and deal with it. And have been going back and forth with Time Warner Cable, and hopefully it'll get resolved rather quickly. Puts a pretty big damper on any kind of online gaming. Path of Exile, of course, everything being online makes it a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Hopefully Time Warner gets on it and fixes it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, as I was saying about superior equipment, early on it could kind of be worth picking up everything. But for the most part, you'll want to start rather quickly saying, okay, I'm not going to pick up anything below 5, I'm not going to pick up anything below 10. And eventually you'll get to the point where pretty much you're not going to want to really pick up much of anything much later on. You've just got tons of currency sitting around. Other than the odd, if you happen to notice a 20% quality that will convert directly into a blacksmith whetstone or armor scrap. Trying to block me in. I see what you were doing. Not gonna let it happen. Doing. Sometimes I talk weird. Oh, armor. If only you didn't reduce movement speed. On the one hand, I'd like the extra stuff, but on the other, I don't want to move even slower than I am currently. I meant to look for Karui Amulet, I believe it is, and a pair of Wanderlusts, just for the extra movement speed. Wanderlusts, I believe, do make you immune to being chilled, or at least just frozen. But the, I believe, 25% movement speed would be worth the trade-off for the purpose of the Let's Play. Merveil would be really the only spot where really there's a significant risk of getting frozen to death. And also Hellrig, I guess, if I'm going to be completely honest about all of it. I did it pretty much very over level, so it wasn't a huge deal for me doing it, worrying about being frozen solid, but if you're doing it like as soon as you get to mud flats or after you get to the ledge, there's more of a chance you'll get frozen by them. I'm going to work away over here. Grabbing mana flow is definitely worth it early on. I keep getting email. It's like, kind of want to check, but it's like, kind of, don't want to check. Okay, mana flow is definitely recommended early on until you kind of get your mana and stuff all sorted out. It's more stable. Eat a fire arrow. Fire trap gem, leveled up. I am liking this split arrow though, or rain of arrows. A couple builds I was looking at, like I said, trying to do something different. Duelist was just, I didn't really like any of the ranger builds. I wasn't, for the Let's Play series, I'm not going to theorycraft. If I'd come up with something on my own that kind of worked, which I do have a couple builds on my own that I've played around with that didn't really get anywhere, I like, but they need some fine tuning, they need some gear, you know, that level... Basically the Act 3 walls that you hit. Act 3 in Cruel is kind of difficult, and Act 3 in Merciless is really difficult. They both really kind of put a damper on where you're going. Act 3 Cruel gets a lot easier if you pick up some granite flasks, which are very easy to get. I think I actually overpaid for a couple the other day. It's like, alright, I really don't feel like haggling.
Spent.
Buying granite flasks, alk each, and I had like 50 people trying to trade me. It's like, yeah, I might have gone a little on the low side there, or on the high side. But granite flasks definitely make getting through cruel difficulty quite a bit easier. But merciless, it really just comes down to you really need to start.
For these doomed sea dogs.
Shut up and stop interrupting me. I don't care about the doomed sea dogs. And just a town portal at the beginning in case my inevitable desyncing, lagging, just my internet being horrible at the moment. It's just as a little safety net so I don't have to run through Prisoner's Gate again. Prisoner's Gate had a waypoint, so I didn't throw one down there. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the merciless difficulty. The key there is you really just need to start upgrading your gear when you start getting to the later acts. Ledge is actually really easy to farm. Act 2, the forest is kind of easy to farm. But, it's, where am I going with that line of thought? The ledge is pretty easy to farm, forest is pretty easy to farm. Fell Shrine is, for the most part, pretty simple. There's a couple things you gotta watch out for in there. Pretty much, it's just a matter of starting to upgrade your gear, making sure you're not using really old leveling stuff. Sometimes stuff is easy enough. It's like, oh, my weapon's kind of old, but I can still 2-3 shot these things, so whatever. Suddenly, you jump up into a new act in Cruel, or in Merciless rather, and it's like, oh, these guys now take 10 to 15 hits to kill. Yeah, this isn't gonna cut it so much. So even going from a fairly nice rare axe, which I did pick up a pretty nice one for my Infernal Blow Marauder, which I used for a good while. It's one of the uniques. I don't remember which offhand. This one. Again. Portal just in case. Sometimes going from a unique or a rare, if you've been using for a while, sometimes just transmuting something and just getting a nice damage roll or extra elemental damage roll on it you'll be in a much better place than if you kept using older weapon you used. It basically just comes down to how many hits is it going to take to kill these enemies. Killing something in 2 or 3 hits compared to, or even like 1 or 2 hits, it just massively increases your survivability compared to something that takes 10 or 15 hits to kill. 10 or 15 hits, you're talking sometimes, when you factor in extra... What did I just pick up? I have no idea. 10 or 15 hits to kill a pack of enemies, you're talking you need to have all your stuff going. Like my Infernal Blow Marauder, I have to have Warlord's Mark on the things I'm attacking. I have to have my Endurance charges up. I have to use my Granite Flask charges. When stuff takes forever to kill, I'll be using multiple Granite Flask charges, sometimes 3, 4, 5. So, 10, 15 hits, you're talking 10, 15 seconds of attacking to kill stuff. When you're talking a weapon that take, like this one. This acts at 1 attack per second. I think the maul I'm using is 1.2 attacks per second, but still, standing there attacking for too long, you use way too much resource. It's pretty risky. In my case, with the way I'm lagging, as you saw just a few minutes ago, it's generally not something you want to be sitting around for in the middle of a pack of enemies. So I went from a unique axe to I believe just a transmuted maul, and I'm killing just a lot quicker. I lost all the little nice bits that were on it, but it is what it is. Same thing with the rest of your gear, though, depending on your slot layouts and what the actual effects on them are. I'm trying to curse everything. I don't have a curse on my Q yet. It's a little less damage, but a decent roll on it. Could be better. 7 to 17, 1 to 3. Quicker, it's 1.5 per second. What else is out on it? Mana gained when you kill a creature. Extra accuracy. You know, let's just see. 51. 53. It is actually just barely, but it is in fact better than I was using. I definitely attack a lot faster now, that's for sure. But yeah, same thing with armor. You know, equipment, gear, you know, lower level stuff, you have lower rolls. Less armor. Eventually, you know, your armor gets kind of low. You start taking more damage. Your physical damage reduction ends up being pretty low compared to what you want. So basically, overall, you need to, when you get up to Merciless and Cruel and stuff, you need to keep your armor, gear, weapons and stuff all kind of just upgrading as you go. Even if it means going from a rare down to a other thing. Have I all cleared this area? That's kind of the question. What area is this? Ship Graveyard Cave. Yes. Alright, I've actually full cleared most of Act 1. So yeah, despite all my rambling about that, just gonna kind of cover the big points of gear when you get up to Cruel and Merciless. Keep your resist maxed. Get as much evasion or armor, whatever you're using, and get as much as possible on your armor, or get as much armor and evasion as possible on your gear. You'll also want as much life as possible if you're a life build, which for the most part in Cruel you will be. And I don't know why I'm going this way, but energy shield you'll start want to look into more towards the end of Merciless, maybe the middle of Merciless, Act 2 or so. Generally about when some people will start to make a transition to Chaos Inoculation and just working off energy shield instead of life. And by Chaos Inoculation, I do mean CI. If you see that abbreviation thrown about all over the place, that's what it stands for. It is... If I had a moment of peace here, I'd point out where it is on the skill tree, as it's kind of relevant to my conversation with myself here that I've been having the past 25 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so. But basically, it reduces your life to 1, but makes you immune to chaos damage, I believe it is. Now, chaos damage penetrates your energy shield, but since you're immune and you have 1 life, even though you have 1 life, rather, you can still just keep going, do what you're doing. Without that, if you really didn't have much energy shield, if you're running around with 150, 200 life, if you get hit with chaos damage, it'll go straight through your energy shield and you'll just die horribly. So a lot of people will grab Chaos Inoculation and just stockpile tons and tons of energy shield. There's Vile Pact, which will let Life Leech apply to... Life Leech is Zealots. Or Reavers. I forget the exact couple skill names for it. That's not really a topic for discussion here. I will point out where Chaos Inoculation is on the skill tree, if I can find it. There it is. Maximum life becomes 1, immune to chaos damage. The Vile Pact, Life Leech applies instantly, life regeneration and life recovery from flasks have no effect. That's not what I was thinking of. Where is it? Ghost Reaver. Life Leech applies to energy shield instead of life. With Ghost Reaver and Vile Pact, or even just with Ghost Reaver for that matter, you can keep your energy shield pretty much at full. I need a waypoint in this area before I do anything else. I am going to do the Fairgraves quest, but... So I'm not sure if this other bow might in fact be better. It's more damage per hit. Again, coming down to hits per kill. It looks to be about the same. Of course, I got some elites mixed in, and I just got frozen and just managed to sneak away. So apparently, a couple guys here have a little bit of concern with getting frozen, an advantage that Wanderlust would have given me. Oh no, skeletons. Oh no, a bunch of dead things. Of course, he resists fire, which means my burning arrow is not going to be terribly effective, but now he is dead, so it doesn't matter. I am using that unique up there. Nice. Lots of slots. Nothing I want, I just need that waypoint. And I'm debating if I want to make a run for Merveil just for the hell of it. Just try to beat her as is. I really don't need the waypoint here. Now I found it, so I'm going to grab it anyway. Actually, I'm going to make use of this waypoint just quickly. We're at about 28 minutes. Obviously, there's a little bit of extra time before the video that gets cut out. My voice checks and getting the audio. My voice checks to get the audio and video synced up. I do use 2 separate programs to record each. Or rather, 2 separate programs to record them. I don't record each twice with 4 programs in total. So Merveil. It's about 5-6 minutes worth. It's actually kind of sad. In a race, I would already be at Merveil. Just total time spent. But that's not a race. I've been kind of just taking my sweet time getting through stuff. And a sapphire ring that will be needed. Actually, it really won't be needed. I do have 30% resist from that helmet I have. Generally speaking, for Merveil, you will want to get your hands on 1, if not 2 sapphire rings for cold resistance. If you're not able to get them from Nessa, sometimes she is stubborn, just doesn't want to sell them. You can grab them by selling an iron ring and a blue skill gem if you happen to come across any. If you really can't find any, and you just don't want to party up, and some people don't want to party, you know, make a group. Sometimes you find people. Depending on the league, it might be a little quiet people-wise. You can always just make a new character quick, kill Hillock, and check the vendor then. Actually, I don't want to say that's fact, but it might be level 2 or 3 before you're able to get some items from Nessa. I'm not sure if you can get to cold resist stuff for level 1. I don't think so. It might be level 2 or 3. But it's an option also if you don't want to party or trade. You don't have the skill gems. If there are iron gems, or rather iron rings in the shop, you can grab one of those, roll up a Shadow Duelist. I think a Templar gets Freezing Pulse as an option, a Witch. Grab a blue skill gem after killing Hillock, and just use that to sell with an iron ring to get a cold resist ring. So you can get it pretty easily if they're not being sold. You don't have to actually level up until they're available on a second character. Alright, 2 minutes through the coves. Got a fairly decent amount of experience. So, worth it, I guess. You know what, we're gonna rush through here quick to get to Merveil. And we're gonna, in theory, kill her and move on to Act 2 next time. Should have recharged my Quicksilver flask. As I said, I'm still in the process of gathering up some quality stuff. And this is a dead end. I'm really missing these movement speed boots. I think I've talked about it a few times in the past. It's one of those things I kind of recommend, especially if you're playing casually, especially if you're soloing, avoid movement speed on boots in any other spots you happen to come across it as long as possible. It's like, yeah, it's nice to have, but you don't know what you're missing early on. Yeah, it slows you down, but it's one of those things you don't notice. Once you're running around with, 25, 30, 35% movement speed boots, extra movement speed and other stuff, Quicksilver Flask, and you're zipping around with, like, triple to quadruple the base movement speed. Maybe triple, but, like, double to triple the movement speed of default. You really miss it when you come back to a normal character. This feels really slow. I actually am wearing armor at the moment. That makes me even slower. I mentioned it before. I actually probably, at some point when I mentioned, what did I just pick up? And it's like, oh, I guess I didn't pick anything up. Well, that's what I picked up. A piece of armor that went ahead and equipped itself. Alright, 2 minutes through the Cavern of Anger. Or through the Cavern of Wrath. Not the best time, not the worst time. If I run across Ambrosia or whoever the other one's name is, I don't remember which is which. Realistically, I could just run past all these. I don't know why I'm bothering to kill them. That could have been very bad. Worked out okay, though. It's all good. Is Amarissa and Ambrosia? Are those the two Merveil daughter uniques? Not liking the situation I got myself into here. Just kind of waiting for this chill to wear off. And I'm out of Quicksilver Flasks yet again. Flask charges. That's the story of my life. I really shouldn't do this. Movement speed, nice. And I'm getting quite a bit more in the way of something. What am I trying to say here? Resistances, but I got the movement speed boots now. I don't have to avoid it as much as possible, but it is what it is. I'm tired of moving slowly. I'm just gonna try to beat the crap out of her. If I don't get frozen non-stop. And I think, if I'm not max cold resist, I'm pretty close. Generally speaking, though, you'll want to, not stand next to her and just tank all the damage. You gotta be careful about the ice spears. You don't want to get too far back. After a certain distance, they roll critical, get additional crit damage, and they'll hurt a lot more than if they had been close to you. In this part, especially if you have an AoE ability, just kind of find the right spot, and you can just stand here, AoE, you'll kill the exploding squids, and this phase is actually a lot easier than the first one.
My spirit is spent.
Almost dead, come on. Don't freeze me, thank you very much. For that second phase, that works for Ground Slam. I think it'll work for Cleave as well. You have to be a little closer for that. Next life, I'll grab that. Sure, why not? Apparently I will lag. Maybe not. What's going on? Don't know what happened. Either way, we're back in business and can move again. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get this waypoint. I kind of want to say that activates automatically, but I honestly don't know for sure. So I will grab that waypoint just in case. That's going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Path of Exile. Next time, we're going to be starting out on Act 2, straight from the very, very beginning of it. And we'll get some stuff done there. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, rate, and/or subscribe, and have a great day.